Hello and welcome to another episode of Ladies Talking Business. Today we will be talking about something very important if you want to see a positive traction in your business. My guest and I will be discussing on record keeping, especially for SMEs. To discuss this with me in the studio is Mrs. Karen Alli, CEO and founder of Karen Ubani Apparel. We will be right back. Thank you for joining me in the studio, Karen.
Thank you very much, Irene. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. All right, in terms of when you talk about business and then record keeping as well, I know that making money does not equate making profits in your business. So what metrics should be used to measure this?
Yeah, so making money as a business just means that there is some form of demand for your product or service. So, I mean, a business making money and a business making profit, the difference is that a profitable business can run for a longer time. It's sustainable. It means that that business idea, whether it's a product or a service you're offering, is actually sustainable. Anybody can make money. If your target is 5 million and you're making just 500,000, you're making money, but you're not profitable.
That's the difference between making money and then making profit.
Yes.
All right, and then in terms of, you've been in the fashion business for a very long time. So what would you say that one mistake a lot of business owners make in terms of record keeping that affects them without them even realizing?
Yeah, so the major mistake they make now, over 50% of fashion designers in Nigeria don't even have a business account. A lot of them still operate a personal account. And most people don't even keep any form of financial records at all. So that is even the major problem. It's not even about the fact that the way they keep their financial records is not sophisticated enough. It's even about record at all. Most people don't even keep a record of their daily financial activities at all.
All right, some people don't really understand the concept of financial record keeping. Can you explain this to us?
Okay, so basically, I'll use simple words. Financial record keeping is a day-to-day record of your cash inflows and outflows. How much did I get in? What did I sell? So financial records is keeping all of these things recorded, even if it's a notebook. It doesn't have to be an Excel sheet. You can start with a notebook saying, okay, this is what came in and this is how much I spent. And at the end of the day, look at it and say, okay, what sold, what did not sell, how much did I sell, how much did I spend? So that you have an understanding of your business.
We'll still get back to the concept of Excel sheets and then how to maximize using your Excel sheet to record your finances. But then how were you able to manage the temptation of excessive or impulse spending and buying during the early years of your business?
Okay, I mean, luckily for me, I worked in a Big Four before I started my business, so I understood how big businesses run and the secret behind brands that stand for a long time. I also read biographies of fashion houses that had done well and that had failed. And most of the ones that had failed, they failed because of financial record keeping or the fashion designer being too creative and not listening to accountants. So this was something I told myself from day one I was going to take very seriously. So, that is how I have been able to do that so far.
All right, and then I know that a lot of people, when they start off their businesses, they want to have a very big office, they want to have everything really big and set up. How intelligent is that? Financially intelligent is that?
Okay, so it's kind of like a sensitive question because, I mean, if some people get funding and they just believe, go all out, but I started quite small. I got a grant.
What's your definition of of being started
When I
small?
say I started small, I mean I had a grant. Then I did a business plan competition and I got money. I got over 5 million naira. But my first store, I made sure I didn't rent anything higher than 300K, even though I had money.
Hold on. You got a grant of over 5 million naira.
Yes.
But then you rented a store
300,000. Yes.
Why did
with
you
no
do that?
air conditions.
Why did you do that?
I mean, I had read books. I had read biographies of fashion designers. I had read biographies of very good fashion houses that had failed after just a short time of running because of money issues. And I just told myself, I need time. I was doing ready to wear and fashion e-commerce, which was pretty new when I started. So I felt like I needed enough buffer cash to learn from my mistakes. I didn't want to burn all of the money in fanciness Also because, I mean, I grew up in a home where my mom was very rugged. She always counts every penny. So, I mean, I knew that starting glamorous is not, it doesn't make a difference. You know, it's about knowing your business and growing your business. And then after a while, the business is comfortable enough to afford all of those fancy things. So I wouldn't advise it really. Even if you have investor money, I think bootstrapping makes you more creative. Some people don't agree, but this is what has worked for me.
So you mean that as a business owner, there's a point where you get to where your business starts to fund itself?
Yes, yes, and it's such a beautiful thing because, I mean, 3 days ago, some of, so I recently expanded my factory. And so some tailors were complaining about, oh, that it's getting too hot. And I just bought an AC. Like, that's something I know myself, like, that's something I wouldn't have done like 3 years ago. Like, you just complain about heat and I just buy AC. But now the business can afford it, you know, like, you look at where you started from and where you are now, you're like, wow, like, I never knew I could get here this fast, you know. So I usually advise new business starters, like, don't just want all the fancy things all at once. Don't compare yourself with anybody. Start with what you have, manage your records and all of that, and a day will come when the business can actually afford all of those things if you know what you're doing.
All right, and then I know that there's a difference between your turnover and then your profit in a business. Can you kindly differentiate these two for us?
Yeah, so your turnover is the total cash inflow from your product or service as a business, while your profit is after all of this cash gets into your bank account or whatever, and you pull out your expenses, what do you have left? And when I say pull out your expenses, you pull out all of your expenses, even your tax and everything. After you've paid your employees, you've paid your suppliers, you've done all of those things, you've taken everything out, do you still have money left? That's what your profit is, your net profit.
And then how do you keep track of every expenditure? Because you've been talking a lot about inflow and then outflow. How are you able to keep track of all of your expenditures?
Yes. Okay, so I have a business account. One of the easiest way to track is, your business account, right? And then I do internet banking mostly. So, no transfer happens without me putting a description.
So you try not to do cash?
No. Even personally, I hardly have cash.
Why do you choose not to do why do you choose not to make any transactions?
Apart from the financial record thing, which is our topic of discussion today, I had been robbed before. So, like, even my suppliers in the market, I taught them how to believe in bank transfer. Like, don't worry, you'll get the alert. I will wait for you to get the alert. You get the alert, you know. But, these things help. Because think about it, we're in 2018, you can't be carrying 200K or 500K around everywhere. No. You do a bank transfer, you write it in your description, and then at the end of the month, you print out your bank statement. You can even do it weekly. It makes your life easy, really.
Nice. Can you share some of the important columns? Because I know you work a lot with Excel sheets. So can you share some of the very important columns that should be in a typical business Excel sheet? Okay,
so because I'm in fashion, I'm going to speak for a fashion business, right? So I'm in fashion e-commerce, and we have a website. People place their orders and blah, 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 blah. So one of the most important things we did in Karen Ubani is we created an order tracker. In the order tracker, you have the order name, customer email, address. When did the customer order?
I feel like that can be used in other businesses.
The date, yes. So the date you ordered, what you ordered, delivery status. Has it been delivered? Has it been shipped? So if it is shipped, not delivered yet, it means it's our courier we are tracking. If it is not yet shipped, then I'm going to fight the store people. Our customer service reps are going to be in trouble because why is it not shipped? This order was placed so date, you know. So we have this tracker that we use to make sure that no customer order slips away and we don't forget. Do you get? So we have this tracker. And then there's delivered value and ordered value. So a customer might go on your website and order 200K, but at the end of the day, maybe some fit or some don't fit, or the color is not what she wants. So from 200K, what you actually deliver might be 190K or 150K. So why did the customer order 200 and only 150K got delivered? I start asking questions. So that is the essence of record keeping. Like I go to my Excel sheet and okay, the customer ordered 200K and only 150K got delivered. Was there a fitting problem? Is it that the image didn't really capture the natural color of the garments? You know, so figures are beautiful. They make your life so easy.
All right, thank you very much. We will be right back right after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Thank you, Karen, for your time with us.
You're welcome.
This next question is very important and essential because I see a lot of businesses falling prey to this. But how important or how dangerous is it to diversify when you're just starting your business?
I wouldn't advise it at all. Because, I mean, a business is more than just an avenue of cash in, cash out, except if you want to be a mom and pop shop or something, like an aboki on the street or something. But if you want to grow a business and build a brand, you don't just start and then do something else. I mean, because brands take time to evolve, businesses take time to grow. You need time to create a culture in a work environment that works for your staff. Do you get what I'm saying? It will take a time for your staff base to stabilize. In the first 1 or 2 years, because you're a startup, people will leave you, come and go, you know. But it takes a while to build an office culture, you know, to make sure that your employees understand the vision of the business. It takes a while. All these things take a while. Even to build a loyal customer base, it takes a while. It takes a while to build what will I call it? To build respect, to gain respect in your industry. It takes a while. You don't just start a business year 1 and year 2, you're doing something else. No, you need to be.
So there's no point where you're saying this is involved.
There's a power in focus. You know, you consistently do something for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. People know you say, oh no, she delivers. She delivers on this thing. So I mean, you stay on your job. You stay on it. You focus on it. No matter what, you focus on it, you learn. Yes, you make mistakes. You should expect to make mistakes. You make mistakes, but you make those mistakes. You look at it, you edit something. You say, okay, what can I do? How can I improve this? You improve this. And then after a while, if you now see that there are other opportunities in your sector or there are other opportunities you want to chase, you will know. Businesses speak to you as a business owner.
How long would it take for such discipline to start reflecting in your financial records? Because, I mean, some people would feel, oh, I'm making corporate dresses, and I feel like if I make more open bags, this would translate to bigger figures.
You'll be tempted. I have been tempted, to be honest. But the truth about it is that there's something about consistency. Consistency is power. The more you do something, you become an expert at it. The more you do something, the more you focus on something. I mean, if I do something every day for 10 years, you can't be better than it. You can't be as good as I am in it if you do it like once a month. There's something about consistency. I'm not saying, because sometimes as a startup, you find out that probably your primary line of business that people know you for is not what brings you cash inflow. And you might have to, meddle in other things to be able to sustain that goal. Because probably your primary business enjoys very good PR, but it's not making you enough money. You don't want to shut it down, but you want to make sure that there's something else floating. That's okay. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about distractions. You shouldn't be totally, you shouldn't start with work clothes and then tomorrow you're doing a shwebi. It doesn't, there's something, your brand should be consistent.
All right. And then how essential is it for a business to know about all areas of everything that pertains to the business? For example, you're into fashion. Do you know how to, would you say that it's very important for you to know how to sew, to whip, to cut, to measure, and everything that goes with it?
That's a very interesting question.
And how does it affect your finance?
And how does it? Yeah. It's good that you understand. You don't have to be a professional. I know how to whip. I know how to sew. I know how to cut. I know how to do my patterns. Especially for an economy, for the Nigerian business environment, I'll advise that a designer learns all of these things, to be honest, because there is a shortage of skilled labor. So most of the time as a startup, you can't afford the people that know everything. They want to start their own business. You can't afford them. You probably cannot afford them. So you probably want to start with people that just have a passion for fashion, which was what happened in my case. I trained my tailors to know how to sew neatly. There was nothing like inspection manager role in Nigeria then. I trained someone to become an inspection manager so that when tailors finish sewing, you can look at the garments inside out and see where there's a problem and if there's not. There was nothing like fashion factory production manager at the time. I trained somebody into that role. So I think for the kind of country we are in, I would advise that you actually learn all of those things so that you can also reduce your salary or your payroll your payroll, because you can't afford very skilled. Maybe you can afford 1 or 2 very skilled people when you start, but you don't want your payroll to be like 2 million when you're just starting. It's too much for a small business. Yeah, then another side to your question is, it's important to understand every aspect of your industry because it can help you to cut costs. For example, every fashion designer knows that if you go to a bar, you get fabrics cheaper. Or if you go to China, you get it much, much cheaper. You just have to have a very a sizable capital, you know. So you need to understand all the aspects of your industry. How can I do this cheaper? How can I, you know, it's all about, I mean, all of this knowledge is power. Okay.
And how often should businesses review their financial records?
Every day, every week, every month. Every day.
Every single day?
Every day. From day one, I had a website. Even though it was a bit incomplete, from day one, I had a website. So if I go on my website from the back end, if you ask me how much did you sell in 2015, I can tell you. How much did you sell in 2016? I can tell you. What was your best seller? What has been your best seller from 2015 till today? I can tell you. Every day, I go on my website. How much was sold? The girls in my store, our customer reps at the store, Karen Ubani store, they also manage our website sales. Every day they send me a report, a sales report.
So there's no 2 days off.
This was how much we, every day I'm tracking my kobo. Every day I'm tracking I know when, if in a month, before I run out of money in a month, I know. If I'll be able to pay salaries, I know. Every day takes me closer. And all of these figures are beautiful because they also influence my marketing. For now, I do my marketing myself, my digital marketing, my offline marketing, all of my marketing. I manage my marketing activities myself for now. So, I mean, even your records is what will ginger you. Okay, I need to do something. Like, no, why have I sold just 1 million in 2 weeks? I need to do something about it, you know. So all of these figures educate you and guide you. So every day, I would say every day, review your sales and your expenses. Every week, do the same. And then every month, do the same. And then every 4 months, look back. For example, was it in February, I told myself, okay, I have achieved this sales figure. How can I make sure I hit this same? I want to make sure that this sales target is sustainable for the next 6 months. I was supposed to see my investor in March or February, but I said, no, I want to go with very impressive figures. I said, this January figure is good, but okay, February I didn't, because the sales in January I didn't expect it. I used a celeb, so the sales in January was like, you know, I didn't expect it. So February we went a bit low because we're struggling to meet up with the orders in January. So March I told myself, okay, I don't want to see my investor with, okay, January peaked, February went down. I want to sustain this for 6 months. And then they look at my figure and they're like, oh, she knows what she's doing. So I set a sales target for myself and I said, okay, after 6 months, I want to look back and ask myself, did I do well? But of course, in between all of those 6 months, each month, each week, I was tracking my sales. I was tracking my marketing. I was, you know, doing everything I could because I had a goal. And then I looked back now and I'm like, oh, now I'm ready to see my investors because I have maintained that sales figure for the past 6 months. So it's very important to track your figures. Very important.
And then finally, would you rather have your brand name exceeding your financial records?
I think both of them are important. You need top of mind awareness, especially in a business like mine that is very competitive. I mean, there are so many people making clothes in Lagos and in Nigeria and in the world. I mean, so PR is important. People need to know your name. I mean, to the best, I mean, to the extent that your budget can carry, you should do PR. You should have good PR. People should know that your brand exists to an extent. To the extent, as I said, to the extent that your budget can carry. PR is good. But most importantly, part of my goal is to be profitable. One of my goals as a business owner is to be profitable. I just don't want a fancy name. I'm a core, rugged Nigerian businesswoman. I want to see my coins at the end of the month. I'm not interested in going for all the fashion shows. Nah, I want to see my money at the end of the day. So both of them are important.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us on the program.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us on today's episode. Until next time, I am Karen Ubani.